The idea of having two sonic modes in one EM has always been compelling to most people, and it's not hard to tell why. You really want to have more signatures, more time to explore your passion for music, and you want to spend less. So today we are going to review an EM which allows you to spend less. This is the Sounds Blade version 2. It is an EM handmade in Greece, Europe, for 550 euros or about 650 US dollars. The price is low, but it has two sonic modes, 4 balanced armature drivers from Sonyon, and also a fit that's worthy to be called almost custom EM. But those are EMs made for musicians, recording artists, and basically everyone who wants a high-end product with a good package. So let's see what's inside. The package is ready inside. We also have a card which has the name on it, also the date of the purchase. We also have a little toolkit box. In the toolkit box we have a cleaning tool, we have 2 guitar picks from Sounds, and we also have an attachment that allows you to attach your EM to your shirt. The fun starts when you reach the transport and protection carry case. This is the transport case, which is fully made of metal. The case has quite a lot of space inside. It is also padded with a soft material. And here we have the products. Those are the Sounds Blade version 2. They are quite beautiful, and you can configure the design when you purchase them. The company allows you to do this for a small fee. I picked the blue shells. They look really nice. You can also purchase them with a balanced cable, which I fully recommend you to. Although the cable looks very basic and normal, this is a better than standard cable. The company doesn't tell you a lot about it, but I was able to test the cable and to replace the cable, test it against aftermarket cables. The original one is very good. You will not need to upgrade it if you have purchased it with the correct connectors. I am rocking the 4.4mm balanced connector, which is really good, and the cable has soft ear guides which are quite tight, very good for providing a good comfort while wearing the Blade version 2. From what I can gather, there was a Blade version 1 which did not have the switch, and the switch allows you to configure the Blade between 2 sonic modes. It is either in Blade mode or Ultra mode. In Blade mode, you engage a bass switch, and it's not exactly a bass, it's more of a V-shaped sound switch because it enhances the bass, the mid bass, the lower treble, then it also enhances the upper mid range and the lower treble a bit. It creates a bit of a peak there, which emphasizes the 9 kHz range, which can create a bit of a metallic tinge to the sound, but the extra bass totally overpowers any kind of metallic tinge that you may hear. In Ultra mode, or what I would consider to be a studio mode, you get a more neutral bass, but it's still plenty. It still reaches 20 Hz quite well, and it doesn't really roll off in that mode. It's what I would consider the balanced mode versus the bassy kind of V-shaped mode. I think that is a very good implementation of the idea of an electronic switch. It works quite well, and the company decided to use Sonyon drivers because Sonyon is from Denmark, they are made in Europe, and from what I saw on the website of the company, they are customized for Sounds. The drivers are not visible through the shell. The shells are made of resin, and the universal variant of the Blade version 2 feels more like a custom version. It goes quite deep inside of your ears. It offers an excellent amount of passive noise isolation, and I'm talking about 30 to 35 decibels of passive noise isolation. It's insane. It basically cancels every single sound in the room. And right now I have an air conditioner running in the back, I have my computer, I have a lot of noise happening in my room. While wearing the Blade version 2, I can hear none of that. Everything is absolutely cancelled. It's actually a bit more effective than using active noise cancelling in true wireless EMs. At least most of the time. There are some really good implementations of ANC, but having good passive noise isolation is always better. You may have noticed something, I clink them a lot, and this is because EMs tend to be lightweight. The cable tends to be more springy than the weight of the EM would be enough to pull on them, and it looks kind of like this. You see, clink, clink. So Sounds employs very thick shells, 1.4 millimeters in thickness, and also the shells are scratch resistant. After taking so many photos, b-rolls, and content with the Blade version 2, I have 0 scratches on them, which is impressive, also positive. Right now I have left them with the Blade mode turned on. The Blade mode is the bass mode. You get much more bass, sub-bass, you get a strong and bold sound and also more definition at the cost of some detail and resolution. The Sounds Blade is somewhat easy to drive. It doesn't have a very low SPL. It has a 105 decibels per milliwatt of SPL, which is natural. It's not the easiest to drive, but it's not very hard to drive. But it has a very low impedance of just 12 ohms. This means they will be sensitive to hissing. You will hear hissing, you will hear background noise with sources that have a high output impedance. So anything about 0.1 ohms will create hissing. A source with an output impedance of 1 ohm will hiss quite audibly. But moving forward, I have paired the Blade version 2 with a lot of high-end music players, high-end sources, even IBASO D16, IBASO PB5, IBASO DX260, even FUK11 R2R. The Blade version 2 scales with the source. It is good to have a better source, but it's not needed to enjoy them. But when it comes to actually listening to them, the sound is quite detailed, well-defined and versatile. They basically master every single music style. They work well with rock, metal, EDM, pop, classical music. Everything just sounds enjoyable, not necessarily smooth, but rich and fluid out of the Blade version 2. Music is generally super enjoyable. The Soundstage, if you have seen some of my other video reviews, especially the ones on cables, I talk a bit about how Soundstage is created in an EM. In my video review of the Astral Acoustics Eclipse, Soundstage is created from information, especially in EMs that don't have any kind of complex acoustic processing or psychoacoustics. When you have balanced armature drivers only, in particular, the Soundstage is all created by information. This is because every microphone records both the instrument, for example right here my voice, but also the room. There is no microphone that doesn't record any kind of room. When listening to the Blade version 2, you will get a studio soundstage. This means very strong instrument separation, a good amount of depth, but the width will depend on the recording. So recordings that have been recorded in a large concert hall will sound as such. Live music will sound live, wide and direct, while music that was recorded in a studio, most studio albums will sound quite studio. The music will be in a natural space, not necessarily narrow and tight, but natural in size. You will get a good instrument separation and you will get a fair amount of depth and definition for each instrument. The tuning is very natural. You don't hear any kind of colorations or uneven parts in male voices, female voices. Everything just sounds natural, contrasty, and above everything, dynamic. The dynamics are excellent. There is a very high amount of dynamic range. Everything just jumps at you. But still the music is enjoyable with all styles. It is a signature and a tuning that works with every single style I threw at the Blade version 2. For such an affordable EM, which is clearly in the entry-level price range, I was not expecting such a strong performance. Because you really get exceptional clarity, excellent comfort, and that passive noise isolation which will convince you to use EMs and universals instead of CHIEMs or custom in-ear monitors. Sounds is a company which mainly creates customs. They were present at IEMS Munich, where they allowed you to take ear impressions to create a custom for you. You could pay for it right there and you would be able to get your own custom. It was the only company which had an audiologist at IEMS Munich. The point of a custom is that it's made for you, so it has very low resale value, which is a problem because in this hobby we like to experiment, especially people which are new to the hobby want to be able to sell the product they have and get something better or even upgrade. Even if you are not new, you sometimes want to purchase a $500 EM, then you want to get some more money, you purchase a $1,000 EM and upgrade along the way. As a camera enthusiast, I do this quite a lot. I upgrade my system as often as I can. I try to always have a good camera so that I can provide a good image to you. So a custom doesn't really have much resale value because it is quite complicated to take new impressions, to send it back to be remolded, and most people want to avoid this process. It's not impossible and most CM producers will do this for you. For a small fee actually, it's not even pricey, but it's the inconvenience of having to send it back and receive it, which stops most people from trying this. The universal variant in this situation is as good as the custom variant. You won't feel that you're not using a custom. You will feel like you are using a custom with an universal shell. Sounds Blade is like a good introduction to the Sounds sound, to the Sounds as a company, and it shows that they can produce a high quality product. You get such a clean and crisp sound with such a good definition, and yet you get that full bass, a lot of impact, you get a good amount of substance in music and strong dynamics. Basically a sound which would do great in studio, they would be great for music mixing, mastering, and although they are only using balanced armature drivers, you never feel like the sound is dry, like the sound is missing substance, or like the sound has any problem with it. Basically, it just sounds natural, it sounds pretty fluid and rich. I would recommend this EM to you if you are just starting this hobby, or if you want a really high quality EM in the $500 price range. There are options at higher prices. I mean, I will be reviewing other Soundz EMs which cost more, including the Flame. We did a review on the Avant, so the world is full of choices, but the Soundz Blade is a great balanced option if you enjoy a bold bass, a lot of bass, if you enjoy a strong dynamic range, and if you want a studio type of tuning with good amount of instrument separation, and if you want a natural soundstage which reveals how the recording was supposed to sound like. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video brought you some joy. I hope that you'll consider subscribing to Audiophile Heaven. Please like this video and share it with your friends if you want to help me out. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope we'll see each other really soon. Bye bye!